From Gillette Stadium in Foxborough, Massachusetts, it is time to crown a national champion in men's lacrosse tonight. Tufts tries to defend its Division III national title against Dickinson, making its first ever appearance in the national championship game. It's Dave Ryan alongside Dan Kaplan from Inside Lacrosse. Mega Power Tufts, 22-0. A 27-game win streak, Dan, dating back to last year. They haven't lost in 393 days, led by first-team All-American, the attackman Jack Rigneri. Dickinson from Carlisle, Pennsylvania. Went to Tiger Stadium last weekend at RIT and beat RPI and the Tigers, one of the powerhouses of D3. Setting up our matchup. On paper, it seems like you have a powerhouse against a newcomer that Tufts would have the big advantage, but you have to play the game, right?
Absolutely, and it's a team that has been the underdog multiple times here. The underdog in the last couple of weeks, and it's been really, really resilient results there from the Red Devils going in. Massive underdogs coming out on top and advancing all the way here to today.
Tufts hammered Bode in the semifinals, 26-11 as you see the road to the championship game. Dickinson went to upstate New York, took out RPI and the Tigers. Close games each time. They play low-scoring, defensive-minded lacrosse. Tufts loves to score a lot. One of the best offensive teams, top 10 scoring, Dan, in the nation. So big-time contrasting styles. The question is, which one will stand tallest by the end of the game?
Absolutely, and we'll touch on some keys here in a second, but you nailed it in that contrasting styles, a team that really wants to get there and really wants to speed the Dickinson Red Devils up versus a Dickinson Red Devils team that's going to do everything in their power to really slow that pace down.
Well, as you can see in this shot, to the right across the field from us, big contingent for Dickinson from Carlisle, PA is here. Tufts plays its first ever game in Gillette Stadium in school history. Their program, their campus, only 45 minutes from where we are here at Gillette, home of the Patriots throughout most of the fall. And all about Memorial Day weekend and lacrosse national championships. Already today, UNC won on the women's side. Division II, Adelphi won a thriller over Tampa in overtime. And now we're set for the finale of the day and night for the D3 national championship.
And I took a quick lap there a second ago. And just to jump right into these keys to the game, really important, Dickinson's going to need to slow the pace, right? Tufts is going to work hard to speed them up. They're going to need to win face-offs, have some composure, get deep into the shot clock. Urgency after face-offs is going to be equally important. Tufts looks to attack right away. And for Tufts, it's managing the moment, right? An undefeated team looking to instill their will and looking to really push their identity on this Dickinson team here and end up victorious here at the end of the night.
Tufts has won 4 national titles, coming into this one at 22-0. They won last year in Philadelphia. After a great run, now in their 3rd straight national championship game, lost in 23-1 last year in Philly, now trying to do it in their backyard. The emotion, the energy running high for Dickinson and the fan base. As you were mentioning before we saw the keys, I mean, the place is jumping with Dickinson fans here.
It is. They're excited. It looks like a fan base that's taking full opportunity to be here, right? The first time in program history, or first since 1958, first in this era, so to speak. So a fan base that seems eager to be here and is chomping at the bit.
Tufts lost to Salisbury in the national championship game in Philly in 2023, 17-13, then beat RIT in Philly last year by 4. The last time they lost the game, Dan, April 27th of 2024, in the NESCAC tourney against Hamilton College. It's been a long time since the Jumbos have tasted defeat. And Casey D'Onofrio wants to take it one more step for another title.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the biggest differences between this team and last year's team. Last year's team suffered 3 losses, so they felt the weight of that in 3 different instances to know that they need to go back and hit the books and adjust some things. This team hasn't felt any of that weight, but has continued to get better over the course of the season.
Goaltenders tonight, Connor Garzone has had a tremendous year. The grad student starting goalie for Tufts, 87 straight games in net for him. He's been brilliant over 4 years. Head-to-head with Rocco Bagnet, the sophomore starting goalie in the cage here for Dickinson. 20 games, a 14-5 record allowed, 170 goals. Dickinson will try to win this first face-off, control the ball as much as they can, use as much of the 80-second shot clock as possible. Tufts wants to run and gun and score a ton of goals tonight.
And it's a fine line for Dickinson of not being so passive, right? You're not going to win a national championship by just sitting on your heels. You have to go out and take it, but at the same time, you need to be great decision makers.
Ben Truckas will take the draw at midfield. For Dickinson, Parker Merrill handles the duties. 119 ground balls, make it 120. He shoved hard there. Sideline by Truckas, but first half-field possession to the top-seeded Jumbos here in the home whites. Underway Division III National Championship game from Gillette. The finale, what's been a great day and night of lacrosse here. Tagliaferri, 59 points, handles top of the box. Experience, won a title last year in Philly. 30-29 for him entering Championship Sunday. The first team All-American.
Draws the short stick there on the first possession.
Interesting, right? Garrett Kelly, one of the top offensive players in the nation, has an early handle. Emsing, the sweep, left-hand cradle. First possession, 35 seconds to shoot here for the Jumbos. Kelly, right-hand cradle. Titleist a year ago. A lot of returners on this Tufts team. Solid defense. Dickinson trail check. The blast shot just off target there. Emsing. Flag flies early. First possession, a penalty. And a man up is on the way here for Tufts.
And that's one of the things we were just talking about before this game started. Dickinson has to, harness that energy and harness all of this excitement and not foul, not make mistakes as a result of that excitement and energy. And so here we go, looking for that first opportunity to kind of make up for one.
And one of the top offensive teams, Dan, will have a 6-on-5 for a minute on the illegal body check. So here comes the EMO unit.
One thing to look here for out of this group, it usually is a lot of this 3-3 and let the talent do the work. They don't do a whole ton of complicated stuff. They're not going to shift a ton, just letting the ball do the work, looking to the pipes, and, really just, we almost had it right there on that look to the pipe. That's right in the scout. That's exactly what Tufts is going to try and do with this man up.
Tagliaferri was back into the corner partner and almost went out of bounds, but keeps the play alive here, man up. Now that possession with Emsing. Lots of firepower on this team. Kraft is in the middle. Yes, he's the grandson of Robert Kraft, playing in the home of the Patriots. That's an amazing story in itself. Up top, big blast off target. That was Hauser. Top attackman for this Tufts team, but a stop was made. Bognett was up to the task early, down a man 5-on-6. And a chance here for Dickinson to clear across the midfield line. They'll do that down a man, Book, but had it stolen right away. Taken right back.
And you'll notice an aggressive ride from Tufts. It's rarely an actual 10-man, but they do a good job of eluding so.
Emsing passed in front. His man there was Regneri trying for another tally on a little sweep one-timer, but he missed the ball entirely. And it's taken back by Dickinson. Jamie Book, freshman shorty, helps get across the midfield line. Here come the Red Devils. First ever D3 National Championship game appearance. Ethan Guess, 2-1 for 3 against RIT in the semis. You follow D3 as closely as anyone. Were you shocked by this Dickinson run?
Yeah, frankly, I think everybody was. Potentially even people inside of the locker room, they just won't admit it.
Whalen carries here for the first time. Another top offensive player, 32-10. 42 points for the number 22 in the dark jersey. He was 2-1 for 3. 7 shots against RPI in the quarters.
And Luke has had overtime game winners on back-to-back nights earlier in the NCAA playoffs.
Amazing.
Dickinson and Salisbury, just crazy performances.
25 to shoot for Guess. 5-shot semifinals against the Tigers. On the road, Dickinson coming from Carlisle, PA. Got the victory and punched a ticket to Foxborough. This will be emblematic, Dan, of the kind of possession we'll see from the Red Devils, using a lot of shot clock.
And I'll extend that. This right here is one of the things we'll see a ton as well. Single invert, looking to hunt short sticks and attack those matchups.
Guess passing. Whalen's blast is off target. It is backed up, though. Huggins, sophomore attackman, will dump into the corner at the end of the shot clock cycle.
And I guarantee you right now, those midfielders getting off the field are getting a bunch of fist pounds, a bunch of congratulations.
Yeah, it's good possession, right?
Good possession. It's fine. They're
happy with
80
seconds and some valuable clock. No question about that for Zoli.
It also allowed them to get totally subbed up and still Tufts almost gets a step and generates some transition, but they were totally subbed up behind it, which is going to do well for getting them, to help with that transition looks.
They'll be fine 6-on-6 if they can get back and recover inside the box. That's a big part of what the coaching staff told us this week with the Red Devils. Spin move, not much doing at all for Regneri. Can't create. Passes up top, Tagliaferri free, a blast off target. And misses the cage and is backed up by the Jumbos.
It looked like that was a little bit of zone there from Dickinson, getting into the hole, checking into zone, and now on this end line restart, they're back into man.
15-23, 73 points for Hauser. Third leading scorer on the team, as out of Denver, Colorado. He starts from the back 15 for Kelly. His move, off target again with a shot. You hear the Red Devil contingent with every good thing that happens to Dickinson making some noise across the field here.
I do think as we look across that Dickinson is currently winning the crowd back.
They are. They're out cheering Tufts at the moment. In the backyard, essentially, the Jumbo program. 45 minutes from campus and playing here at Gillette tonight. What a cool setting. Under the lights for D3 this year. Bouncing ball. Comes right to the goaltender, Bognet. And a chance for a clear for the Red Devils. Solid defense in the half field. Shorty will single. Plays back to his netminder. Now a clear try. We'll see what Tufts can generate with a ride. You got to be happy, Dan, early. I mean, a couple stops.
Absolutely.
Bump, physical play. Good takeaway, though.
Outside
Tufts
of that
on the ride.
Clear, and the one earlier, most of the things are going according to plan.
Emsing passes down low. And the slam dunk goal. It's in the net for Tufts. The great start. Hauser jets out from X, finds himself one-on-one with Bognet, and makes no mistake. Icebreaker in the D3 championship game. Tufts has a 1-0 lead.
And we just mentioned it, right? Fail clears are going to be heartbreakers. They lead to that transition. And not only transition, just easy looks like this one, all that space. A great sneak from Hauser there, and he does a great job of keeping his feet moving and finishing in front.
He's a good one. 51st goal of the year for the junior from Denver.
And again, just to harp on that point of like what's going to plan, and according to plan, this face-off is one that becomes important.
Tufts wants back-to-back jacks. And they get the win from Merrill. Face-off Mitty has got the clean victory head-to-head with Truckus, who's had a huge year for the Red Devils. 154 ground balls for number 22, or number 66 rather, in the dark jersey here tonight.
And here comes a good long dodge here with some speed.
Tufts back on the attack. Sharp angle shot sent off target. Didn't miss much there off the stick of Regneri. 75 goals and 100 points. First team All-American, has 7 EMO goals as well. The numbers are incredible. Tied for 10th Tufts history single season scoring, entering Championship Sunday here tonight.
And our first look at a second midfield here for Tufts.
Eddingshausen, second leading scorer. He's got 60 goals. Pass, shot, spin, score. It's Kraft, grandson of Robert, in the house of the Patriots. It's another for Tufts. Quick stick goal, great passing offensive end, 2-0.
And again, we mentioned just production, right? Getting it from some different sources, something that Tufts absolutely does. At the end of every game, they have a lot of guys in the box score. Here, Jackson Reed and Joey Kraft get in as they connect inside. And it's a great little over-the-shoulder handle inside on the crease. Great job of moving in there and sneaking behind that slide.
Nice pass from Red. You mentioned the second midfield for Coach Tanopoulos' team. He comes through on his first shift with a great feed to Kraft. We asked the coach this week, how many Patriots tickets do you get when the grandson of Robert Kraft, the owner of the Patriots, is on your team? He said it was unlimited. Quite a few, actually, so pretty good hook up there.
Yeah, that's a nice connection to have,
I'll say. Hauser's got the handle. They've got it right back here. Del Cristo is in, a quick shot block this time. Loose in front. And sent just off target by the long stick.
And just to harp on the importance of what could be small things, that ground ball there for Dickinson, a missed first-time ground ball leads to a shot and now another possession, right? They had an opportunity to kill it right there, and every single one of those details is something that they have to be great on.
Tagliaferri scores! 3 in a row for Tufts, and they're standing tall early against the Red Devils. 3 goal scorers, Dan. What a start for the defending champs.
And again, I feel like this one is a little bit of a backbreaker more than just what this goal may seem like, because they had the chance to end this possession. And here, Tagliaferri on a short stick. I think Dickinson's going to need to recognize that matchup earlier and be a little bit quicker to go. And make him flush that ball out of his stick from there.
31st of the year for Charlie Tagliaferri. First team All-American, second team All-American pick a year ago. He's over 200 career points. Tops all time in Tufts history for a midfielder. 4-year starter. Older brother Michael, of course, similar colors, won a national championship for North Carolina. He'd like to win another one here for Tufts tonight. Sam Frizzoli, one of the 2 Frizzoli brothers, has the handle off the wing.
And gosh, if you're a Dickinson Red Devil fan right now, you're kind of holding your breath, right? Every one of those ground balls, every one of those faceoffs becomes an opportunity for them to, instill their will and slow the pace a little bit, as we're seeing right this second. And every faceoff that Tufts wins is the opposite. So here they're going to try and slow it down a little bit, get into their 6-on-6 sets and get one.
4-zip faceoff stat early here, Dan, for Tufts. No surprise based on the score. Carter Wilmot, the second midfield, is out here for the Red Devils.
And they have a 2-headed monster there. We'll see 2 different styles as well from both of those guys.
Well, Dickinson would love to get on the board here and end this 3-goal run. Thurston, 99, the black jersey, makes his move. Sharp angle, but can't create, goes to X. Right-hand cradle defender is hung up. Bulldodge move. Thurston trying to bounce that in. Beyond the reach of Garzone, but couldn't do it. End line, saved beautifully by Tufts. Keeps the play alive.
I think schematically, that's one that Dickinson's probably okay with, right? One of their best players.
Good possession.
On that GLE spot, a danger space in a one-on-one contest. He just wants to get a little more separation, a little more space. But I think schematically, they're going to be okay with getting that look.
Regnier the handle. Sharp angle shot sent just off target. Eddingshausen. He's got 73 points. He's been brilliant. 4-0 for 4 in the semis. That crushing win over Bowdoin.
And if you're a fan that's into tendencies, mark that give and go down. That's something we may see again.
Hauser, lefty shot, speed dodge from X. Closest to it is the goaltender, Bognet, makes a good play. 10 goals, 9 saves in that 12-10 win over RIT in the semis. He's been tested early, and Tufts has been that much better. Lob pass for Book across the midfield line, they'll clear. Maybe. Takeaway. Ground ball. Ayers finds it. 6-foot pole. Off for Lee, and here comes Tufts again.
And they're running. He's going to dodge right here if he gets any bit of a step.
Things unsettled. Crank shot, score! It's another for Tufts, and they continue the great start. Brooks, Hauser. Lightning on the release. He's got 2. Tufts up 4-zip.
And I think Dickinson's going to go to a timeout here. But that play down in the corner is exactly what you cannot have if you are Dickinson. You have to be sure-handed. You have to be more composed there.
Timeout. Dave Webster, the Red Devil alum, coaching his alma mater to his first ever championship game, needs to talk things over. His team is hurt. Two for Hauser. Kraft, Tagliaferri have scored. And that's a 4-0 lead for the defending champs, the top seed. 22-0 entering play here tonight. A 27-game win streak. Getting all the way back to last year, Parker Merrill has won the first 4 draws, head-to-head with Ben Truckus, the senior from Pennsylvania. Dickinson would love to get the face-off win here off the wing. Push is called, and they will have a chance. A lot of possession. Dave Gann, our entire crew here, and they've got it back.
They can't leave and sub like that. Oh, he's going to do a good job of getting out of it, but they can't leave and sub like that and leave that wing that picks the ball up there off the face-off to dry like that. We're lucky to live through that one there.
Hagelson did bring it across the midfield line successfully. They now got it with Parker Merrill defending. It's Whalen we talked about, who has had just huge heroics. 2 overtime game winners in this tournament run. Handles here at X. And Dickinson trying for its first ever championship game goal. A couple of decent sets in the half field. They did use the 80-second clock the first time around.
And again, we'll get a little bit of this single invert here from Dickinson.
Ethan Guess. Pass. Good ball movement. Whaley. Won't pull a trigger just yet. In no hurry, trying to use as much of the clock as they can. Charlie Bond out there cutting through the slot area, 44 in black, 18 to shoot. Guess dodging, trying to get free. Pass, shot, rip stop. Garzone there again. The blast from Whalen tracked it nicely into the goal stick for a nice save. Officially his first of the game.
I was going to say that, but I wasn't 100% sure.
Bognet's got a couple on the other end here early for Dickinson. And they're facing the tough offense again of Tufts one more time.
But it's a great way to get your first, right? A wing shooter on an adjacent hedge, a really good spot, good shot. Great way to get your first save.
Exactly. Tagliaferri wants to finish out another spectacular season with the Jumbos, but limping a bit there. Stays on the field, no problem.
They have Luke Whalen caught here on defense.
Kelly out of the sub-box. Operates. Kelly scores! It's another for Tufts. Garrett Kelly resuming his 2024 title game heroics. And Tufts has another to make it 5-0 in the first quarter.
And again, here at least they recognized the matchup. They realized one of the best Tufts offensive threats on an offensive midfielder. So Carestos goes, just not the most disciplined slide, gets swum, gets back underneath, and he's able to make him pay for it.
Hauser twice, Kraft, Tagliaferri, now Kelly have tallied for the defending champs. Just looking awfully good. 39th of the year for the first team All-American. 55 points on the season. Regular season game with Bowdoin. Hard to believe that it went to overtime. And double OT for Tufts after the score in the semis, which was an absolute blasting.
Here comes Forsoli in transition.
Yeah, he's a good one with a long stick off the wing. Errant pass. Eddingshausen does find the handle, and they're back on the attack again, up by 5. All going Tufts' way. Superior play to begin this one tonight. In the back 15.
Chase Byer getting his first run of the night.
Yep. 20th game for him of the year. He's got 3 and 5 for 8. That pass from Byer is errant, but not far enough to go out of bounds. And grabbed there by Rigneri, the junior. Gets a pick in the back 15. Rigneri trying to get the right hand free. An incredible offensive star. Passing instead. Under 30 to shoot this Tufts possession. Very deliberate. Very patient. Hauser skipped that pass through. It's errant, turned over. Back to Dickinson.
And a nice possession of defense there from Dickinson. Gluing up, holding matchups, doing a nice job of drifting on the perimeter with those Tufts offensive players.
Devin Karetsis, the senior defenseman, 23rd game of the year from him.
And again, I'll make a point about this Tufts ride. I think they get a lot of credit for working hard and creating turnovers. They don't do anything special. They just work really, really hard.
What were you saying?
In the middle of the field.
Creating turnovers? Well timed there, partner. Right back to Ayers and company.
I like to think that I've watched a lot of Tufts film. I saw that one coming, developing a little bit.
I know you prepared hard for the stream here tonight. Great to have you on board.
It's great to be with you.
Yeah, man. A lot of fun. This D3 title game. A lot of fun being had by Tufts right now. Good takedown inside the box. Dickinson gets aggressive. And the 50-50 ball. Red Devils, no. Tagliaferri finds it and escapes. And then we have a whistle and a timeout.
I think he was trying to call it in that earlier scrum, but he was so adamantly calling it that as soon as they got it, the referee was giving it to him no matter what there. Right.
Back at Gillette, Kelly triggers play. Tagliaferri the handle. Top of the box, trying to get that right hand free. Good dodge with better defense. Head to head with Charlie Tagliaferri. Will Emsing free. Crank scores! Lefty hammer. Low to high for Emsing. That was a bullet.
And I was just going to make the point about matchups and where short sticks and poles are. And now you see why they thought Emsing was deserving of that long stick matchup. Really nice job squaring up. Just wins his matchup and blasts one. Opens those hips up.
That was a rocket. Not a lot of goalies, including Rocco Bucknett's going to stop that one.
Great job of refusing that pick, right? I think he thought he was going to have to get over or under it, and as soon as he did, committed to that, Emsing just rolls back and makes him pay for it.
Another goal scorer for Tufts. 3 and 2 for 5 on 5 shots against Bowdoin in the semifinals. 28th of the year.
Things
Face-off battle.
Officially not going to plan.
Hauser.
Not going to plan.
Not at all for Dickinson. Not even close. Sam Frazzoli has got it. And yet again, they're in the offensive end set up.
There was a script, so to speak, that Dickinson was going to have to follow for success in this one. And so far, not so much going to that script.
Well, they lost 6 of 7 faceoffs. And that's the first thing when we spoke with Dave Webster, Dickinson's head coach this week. He said had to happen. We've got to win faceoffs, score, win them again, and have more possession time. None of that has happened.
No.
So far. Kelly operates top of the box. Bull dodge for Kelly. One of the 6 scored by Tufts in this first quarter. Just over a minute to go. Tagliaferri on the far wing. Controls now to GLE. Quick shot put right on there by Regneri. A little shovel as he tried to get fancy box lacrosse style, backed up by Hauser.
I was going to ask what you call that.
Twisted wrister.
I don't
shovel
know.
shot. I used to go with shovel on that, but that was pretty cool. Hauser's got one already. Speed dodge from X. Trying to create just enough space to release the shot. 50 seconds left in the quarter. Regneri had it for a moment. Skip pass from Emzing to nobody. That's picked off by Dickinson, so a good play there for Will McDonald. The freshman has the intercept, and 35 seconds and counting in our first quarter. Red Devils have it back. Maybe. Ride effective again. Kelly the pick. Right at midfield. Not much they could do about it. Perfect timing by Kelly. He's got it back here with 20 seconds left in the quarter. Eddingshausen. Pass in front. Hauser again.
Those failed clears are just such backbreakers. It's so hard to get in, match up, take care of the ball carrier, and make sure that you don't have like a Brooks Hauser sneaking around the back of the crease. You know, a lot of different things, and it all starts with just you can't fail clear in that spot.
I thought Dan they were very hesitant near the midfield line too. Just kind of ran out of gas between the top of the box and the midfield line on that clear. Not sure where it was going to go.
Absolutely.
And when you have a good direction on your clear, you're going to have trouble with the ride.
And right now what I think is happening is they're stuck in this, like you want to do a really good job of getting out quickly in the clear so that Tufts can't get set up in the ride. But if by going so quick to get out, you're going to end up turning it over anyways, then you might as well switch fields.
Frazzoli, long stick. Try to add to the total. Almost did so. Final seconds, it's another one for Tufts to beat the buzzer at the end of the quarter.
And here it all starts. They go chasing a ground ball that a Tufts player doesn't even bother going and chasing. And now Frazzoli on the backside of that has all this time and space because he's just patient and kind of waits on the backside of that and gets a good goose his way. It's unbelievable. You have to be so detail-oriented. You have to take care of every little thing. You can't go chasing a ground ball and not end up getting it and have a leaker behind you.
76 of the year for Regneri. The Iroquois National Outstanding Player of the Year nationally in Division III, and the Turnbull Outstanding Attackman for good reason. The good news for Dickinson, no more time on the board in the first quarter.
No.
Bad news, it's 8-0. Tufts looking for another championship. Well on its way. Great start for the Jumbos. Second quarter next. Dave, Dan, our entire crew getting set for quarter number 2 here from Gillette. Thanks for joining us for the 2025 NCAA Division III Men's National Championship game. 8-0. The top seed Tufts, Dan, is rolling. The stats are astounding. In addition to that 8-zip score, 20-3 on shots, 11-1 shots on cage. Only one save, didn't need to have very much pressure. 7-9 face-offs won. Turnovers 6 for Dickinson in quarter number 1, and yet another face-off win here for the top seed. Impressive. Frazzoli on the move with a big stick shot just off target. It is backed up though by Hauser, and Tufts has it again.
And a great job of eating space there off the lefty to kind of make that a little bit of a harder decision for Frazzoli. Didn't have quite a path to feed it, didn't have quite a path to shoot it, so just a nice job there of kind of eating space.
Jackson Red on the field here. Coach D'Onofrio's got the second line midfielders out. He had an early assist in this game here tonight. Impressive in his first shift. Carries here at X, now to GLE. There is the offensive star. Got one already. Trying to add to the totals here tonight First team All-American for Red at X. This team is dangerous. They come at you in waves. Joey Kraft had one already.
Hauser with a mismatch here.
You don't want to have a shorty on him. He's been brilliant tonight. Gets the pick in the back 15. Hauser has it to near side GLE. 25 to shoot. Hauser's move, trying to pass in front. Red slams it in. Jackson Red, quick stick goal. Feed from Brooks Hauser. And the Jumbos are pouring it on. Make it 9-0.
It's a nice job from Hauser of recognizing that while he has that short stick, Dickinson's likely to go. So he's in feeder mode. He's just kind of probing, just going and waiting for that slide to come. It's not a huge lane to find him there, but it's enough. And Jackson Reed does a nice job of finding that space and bearing it. With the angle of where Hauser's headed, I'm not sure he needs that slide. I know he's a good shooter, a good scorer, but that's one that I think Dickinson going might just give them offense that they didn't need to do.
7th of the year for Red. He's 1-1 for 2 in the championship game tonight. Dickinson trying to win its face-off here. It was 8-2 in favor of Tufts heading into that draw, and they do have it. But a turnover. And over the head there of Ethan Guest, tried to climb the ladder. The senior from Glen Rock, New Jersey, couldn't bring it in.
If we flash back to keys of the game, pregame, we talked about composure. I think that's one of those instances where when you pick that ground ball up, you just have to make the hard play, bury your head down, run to space. I know it's a lot easier for me to say to you, but certainly is the play that needs to be made there.
Unfortunately for the Red Devils, it was not. It was Regneri.
It looks like zone here again with short stick down on that bottom pipe and it inside.
How's for Emzink. Tagliaferri. Skip pass. Kelly thinking about another one. He's been fantastic again here tonight, as he was in Philly last year. Regneri's shot, the hammer, going for that far post. He just missed it.
Yeah.
Off target. It is backed up, though, by Tufts.
Tufts against the zone with their hands free. Looked at that ball to really wing around the perimeter.
About 30 to shoot here in this jumbo possession. Pass in front, easy slam goal. Another one, Eddingshausen adds to the total. His first of the night, 61st of the year for Max. And the senior from Rochester, New York, makes it a double-digit lead for Tufts.
And again, here no ball pressure on the ball carrier, so he's able to just survey. Good feed inside, good timing in there. And they're going to pick on that spot if that's where Dickinson's going to put the short stick in the zone.
Is there any way, Dan, to stop the bleeding?
It starts right here with the face-off, right? It certainly does. I think that these are the most stringent opportunities, right? Is right here in this moment where you have pressure, you win the face-off, but you have to convert those face-offs into possessions.
It was Will McDonald, partner, the freshman, off the wing. Did a great job to find that GB, but then got tracked down and shoved out of bounds on the sideline.
We might have a push. Oh, a timeout.
There was a timeout first. All right. So they saved possession. Dave Webster able to get that timeout before McDonald hit the paint.
That's one where even if he didn't, I think the referees are going to look to each other and kind of give the, I think we're giving it to him here.
Close enough.
Exactly.
12:37 to go in our first half. It is all Tufts tonight, pounding the Red Devils. Hauser already 3-2 for 5-on-5 shots. Kraft's got one. Tagliaferri. Kelly's got one. Red we saw from Hauser to begin the second quarter scoring, and then Eddinghausen adding to the total as well in what has just been a domination for Tufts. As many, and you know, you cover D3 as closely as anyone, thought this might happen.
Yeah, it was one of those situations where going into it, you knew that so much was hinging on a lot of different things for Dickinson. They needed a lot to go their way. And for Tufts, they just needed one or two things to go their way. And so far, everything has.
Well, we thought 26 goals was a lot in the semis with Bowdoin. They may get to that in the first half here, the way things are going. With a huge lead. AC D'Onofalo will keep his foot on the gas as long as he feels that he's got to have enough space between his team and the Red Devils. Well, a lot of lacrosse left here, Dan.
Absolutely, and it's a team with pride, so we're going to see Dickinson continue to fight it out.
Here's Whalen, team's fourth winning scorer. Is going to re-trigger off the timeout. Wins over Denison and Salisbury, had game winners in overtime for Dickinson to help them get this far. A 17-5 record entering play tonight with a 10-game win streak. They outshot RIT 39-32 in the semis in upstate New York. 10 more ground balls on the Tigers in that game. Different story tonight by a lot. Whalen re-triggers, trying for their first goal of the game. Can the Red Devils get the board here and make some noise? Whalen dodging in the near alley. A lefty cradle. Can't go anywhere. Great defense.
And these Tufts poles on the adjacent pipes are doing a really good job at eating space when Dodgers go under, just giving them no room to operate.
Bond for Whalen. On a bounce found by Hyatt. He's been really quiet so far tonight. 51 goals for Hyatt entering play here tonight.
And here comes that single
season. Bond now carries, circles the cage. Quick blast, there's a score from Hyatt. And the Red Devils are on the board for the first time in our championship game. 10-1 on a hammer from Landon Hyatt. That's got to feel good, Dan.
Absolutely. And we get a great replay here. Bond does a great job of gaining a step, forcing that adjacent slide. There's just a second late on the rotation, and Hyatt makes him pay for it. And that's his sweet spot. That's exactly what, when this Dickinson offensive staff meets, it's like, how many shots can we get landing from that low corner, the high corner, and anywhere kind of cutting in between?
Hat tricks against RIT and RPI in the semis and quarters of this NCAA tournament for Hyatt. Now the icebreaker tonight for Dickinson. We finally get one. 11th seed entering the NCAA tournament all the way to the championship game. A true Cinderella story. There's a hold call, and yes, they'll have another possession.
Gosh, look at
off
the fight.
The wing play.
And he's going to run himself right into a double team as the other guys go and sub. They have to be supportive of this.
Coach Kaplan saw that one coming. Almost run out of bounds again.
Great hustle and great effort there from Sam Button to get through it, but those are the types of plays that they can make easier on themselves by just supporting a little bit more.
Second line middies out here, partner. Cullen Mulhern gets a shift. Had a cause turnover against RIT in the semifinals. 12 games for him, 10-5 for 15. Junior from Lawrenceville, New Jersey gets some time. The Devils looking for back-to-back goals. Pass in front comes through. Right at the doorstep. And lost out of bounds.
The nerves, right?
Hyatt just couldn't find a clean handle in his cross. And it's right back to Tufts.
And we'll look to see if Dickinson makes a decision in the ride to get a little bit more aggressive. Not something that's super typical of him.
Wallbaum easily coasts across the midfield line. Regneri on the sweep. Trying to get the right hand free. Thought about pulling the trigger. Does not this time for Hauser. He's had a great first half. 3 and 2 for 5. 3 for 5 shooting for Hauser to this point. First attackman from Denver has been awesome.
There are a few teams in the country that just make you feel like you are on your heels and have to defend every second of the possession.
Tagliaferri, a lefty blast. Stop this time. Airborne inside the crease and pulled down by Bachnet. That's a sparkling save, his best of the game so far. Tagliaferri on the ride. You cross the midfield line and clear. And the Red Devils will set up here in the half field.
We see a sub here through the midfield. Ethan Guest coming in down there, or up there, excuse me. So we have Preston Boyd down at attack in his spot.
There's Guest in the right-hand corner of the box, trying to get the left hand free. Shorty matchup with Ethan O'Neill on this set in the half field for Dickinson. Ball handling error has been an issue. That continues. MZ Huggins had trouble with the initial catch.
This
slows down the offensive set, right?
This will be a matchup they're okay with. Guess out on short stick.
Guess, left hand free, a blast off target. Other zone, watch that go over his head. It is backed up.
And here's that look at Preston. Boyd in single invert.
5 and 5 for 10 for Boyd so far in this season. High at the icebreaker for Guess. Top of the box handles here, 24 to shoot. Split dodge move, top of the box a spin. Can't get the hands free, passing, shooting, scoring. Huggins. Got a nice feed from Guess and buries it low. 35th of the year for Ramsey Huggins.
And I'm willing to bet that that's exactly why they went to that look, trying to get Guess looking and working up top and looking down to the pipes, feeding against that Tufts look that's been super aggressive, right? And so maybe you can get them on a good cut like that with a feeding midfielder, and that's exactly what ended up happening.
I'm going to give the Dickinson fans a lot of credit here. Your team's down 10-0. Now back-to-back goals. They realize first ever appearance in the title game. They've never been here before. They want to have some fun here tonight.
It's house money.
It's awesome. It's what college sports is all about.
Absolutely.
All right, Tufts has it back as we say that. Hauser control near corner of the box. I was actually driving in, arriving at the stadium before the D2 game, and the Dickinson fans were there waiting for the team bus to come in. You should have seen the gallery. It was pretty awesome. They were excited to see the arrival. Such a big deal. That shot's off target. Eddingshausen trying for his second. It is backed up there by Bognet.
And you're right, the crowd is a little bit back into it. A
little
couple
juice,
of goals on the other
little
end.
zip. Why not?
It feels a little different. Let's hope they can get cleared here now.
I mean, you can sit in your hands and do nothing, or have some fun.
Absolutely.
It's the championship game.
Absolutely. And the team's going to keep fighting, like we said, making some adjustments, continuing to go into some different looks, playing some different guys in different spots.
Here's Bond. He's from Foxborough, right here on the home of the Patriots. Got to be a thrill for him to play in his home stadium, in his hometown. Shot up top. Garzone got a piece of that one. On a blast there from McDonald. Now into the corner and a good clear.
Great save and a great ground ball there from George Panagopoulos. Great composure in the corner as well.
It was perfect. Right to Waldbaum. Now the clear is officially across into the box. Quick stick try. Sanchez top target there by Del Cristo, the senior in transition. Just missed the mark, but it is backed up again by Hauser and a retrigger here in the near corner.
The other factor for fans at home who may just, not realize it, at every one of those shots that goes wide in transition like that stops the shot clock. So now you can go, get subbed up, figure out what you want to do while someone goes and gets the end line reset started.
Right there, the handle. 1 for 5 shooting for the All-American. Been quiet, but his team hasn't been. They've been plenty of noise as part of the 10-2 lead here in the first quarter. First half now for Kelly.
Here, Tufts is going to put Dickinson defense in a 5-on-5 situation. Ayers playing that hangman game.
Tagliaferri started that passing. The shot is off target. It is backed up by Hauser. Barely closest to it in a foot race to the end line. Retrigger with 25 to shoot on this possession. 60 points on the year for Tagliaferri.
And with 20 seconds left on the shot clock, they finally get subbed up, all 6 guys on the field.
Takes time against this tough offense. Eddingshausen looking for the pick. Tagliaferri at X. Hauser, a bounce shot up top. Blasted wide, 7 to shoot.
The other thing that's interesting, I think in these situations, this short shot clock, a lot of teams start subbing. Tufts, all 6 guys are still out there. They're going to try and score.
Tagliaferri, Regneri on the quick stick try. Into the corner it goes, and there's the horn. So Dickinson a chance to clear here, down by 8. It is time in our second quarter for a little noise from the Red Devils to create some interest. Love to get a goal here. That's the first step, right?
Absolutely. I'd argue first step is getting cleared again.
Gotta watch the clock. Monroe and company across the midfield line.
And again, a nice job of shifting fields there and making that Tufts team that does a really good job of shifting side to side. Right? They were doing it a little faster in the first quarter, maybe a little fatigue setting in here in the second with an 8-goal lead.
Yeah, good point. Hyatt. Huggins have scored so far. For Dickinson, their first ever goals in this Division III National Championship game.
The other thing you'll see right here is this defender, the way he's lined up, he's kind of funneling you to the middle of the field. A little awkward. You're not necessarily used to initiating like that if you are an offensive player.
Whalen for Guess. Dodging right alley. Try to get the left hand free. Top of the box. 25 to shoot. This is the type of possession they like to play in a close game, but down by 8. That's the way the Red Devils play.
And this is where they've had the most success. I don't blame them for living out of this as much as they are, to be honest. Could go to it even more, to be frank.
Come down to 10 to shoot. Speed dodge, move ball, airborne into the goal stick of Garçon. An easy play here as Tufts tries to clear.
And all of these poles have such great handles, just no problem,
and
right?
Speed and athleticism. Pretty good.
And this is the other situation that you have, it just provides troubles. You have to do a really good job of shifting and getting into the hole, but then they come attacking out of the box. And so now they get these 30-yard head starts that are really hard to defend without being able to go out and crowd the Dodger at all or get approach even.
Kelly handles, top of the box here, looking for another one. Nice split dodge move. Right hand is free for Kelly. Pulls the trigger, goes high.
They'll have numbers if they can hit him opposite.
Bognet saw that.
Down 8, you kind of got to take a little bit of a chance, right?
For Wilmot. And he sprints across the midfield line, but Hyatt slows things up, puts on the brake for the offense, and they'll set in the half field. 4.5 to go in the first half.
Wasn't really a true fast break as one of the Dickinson attackmen was still getting subbed up there.
Mulhern in some trouble. Double teamed, almost lost it. Stockdale, really good pressure. In addition to Logan Lee, the sophomore pole, who came through the midfield sub. Red Eddingshausen have scored second quarter for Tufts. Hyatt, Huggins have tallied here for Dickinson in quarter number 2. Mulhern looking for the return pass. Instead, a cut off ball. Trail check, nicely done. Perfect timing. Take away Del Cristo, the senior shorty. Pass on the money. Waldbaum is moving. He's shooting. He scores! Transition go. Joey Waldbaum. That was pretty. Long stick goal. It's another for Tufts to make it 11-2.
And that's his 5th of the season. He's no stranger to pushing offense. We get a great ground ball here. George Panagopoulos gets his eyes up. Waldbaum knows what to do with it.
Expands the lead with 3:43 to go in the first half. Violation goes this time.
Here comes one of those doubles again.
Yep, against Tufts, so we'll have to make a face-off man switch. And Dickinson's got it with Mulhern into the offensive end.
Another nice job there from Joey Wood, just running hard, running to his strong hand, escaping pressure. A freshman, they're playing a couple in those spots at short stick D-mid. He and Jamie Book have done a nice job this season for the Red Devils.
A lot to be proud of for Dickinson to get this far. Been an incredible year, history-making, huge crowd coming from Pennsylvania tonight. Sweep, Garzone, a piece of that on that blast shot.
Connor Garzone kind of goes down as like the unsung hero of this group. There's so many different guys that you point to, so many guys that make plays. And then on the other side of it, when you do finally beat some of those guys or you finally make a play against some of those, Connor Garzone will make sure that you don't feel the weight of it at all.
2 saves in the game tonight. Not been tested much to this point of our championship game. Charlie Bond trying to create for guests. Blast there for Landon Hyatt. Smoked it, trying to go low to high for that upper 90 corner.
And you immediately see everybody on Tufts address that and quickly, that's the biggest threat on the field. So they're very sure to make sure that doesn't happen a ton.
Bond creating, Hyatt again. Scores!
Not sure enough to make sure it doesn't happen a ton.
Apparently not, partner. Landon Hyatt's got a couple in this second quarter. It's a 3rd goal for Dickinson to make it 11-3 on Championship Sunday.
When it comes to halftime adjustments or things that Tufts is going to talk about, it probably isn't a ton, but this is definitely going to be on the list. They're going to have to rotate to this much quicker if they are going to help on that pipe.
Team's leader in scoring. 58 points now in the year.
Nice job there from Landon is switching locations too. Buries that back to the near side. First one he took from that spot went over stick side. Now this one comes back, mixing locations there as a shooter.
6'2 junior, Tracy's Landing, Maryland. He has now got 8 goals in the last 3 games. Battle face-off. And possession right back to Tufts. Sam Frazzoli subbing in with good play. Two wings to the bench. Offensive-minded players back in the field, including Jackson Red.
Looks like we'll see that zone again with the short stick down on the pipe and one inside as well from Dickinson.
You like that?
I don't know. I think that it gives them hands-free, lets them whip the ball around the perimeter a little bit. Earlier we saw them pick on this pipe with that Eddinghausen goal.
Hauser free, cranks, scores! Brooks Hauser, a hammer. He saw a shooting lane and he buried it.
And we've seen that a couple times in this game already. Hauser and Regnery, when they get hands free from range, from the perimeter, it's lights out. They're just too good of shooters to give that much time and space.
Junior from Denver has been awesome tonight. 3 and 2 for 5 and 3 of 6 shooting in the game for Brooks Hauser. Well, Coach D'Onofrio told us this week in our discussion, we asked him about Hauser. He said, boy, the sweep, the right hand, middle of the field, he is just lethal. 15 yards and in. Exactly what the coach said. In case in point, on that last blast from Hauser, Merrill finds the GB. And again, they've got possession. Waldbaum had the pole goal earlier in this half. Frazzoli and company across the midfield line. Give and go. Frazzoli thought about it. Trying to gather with a 6-foot pole. Finds it back 15. They do retain possession. Quite a night for Tufts. First ever game at Gillette in school history. And we spoke with the coaching staff about that this week. You think, scrimmage, some kind of showcase game, practice, something would have happened, but not until tonight.
And I think that that's actually more important than if it was just a matchup against any other team. The Tufts, uniqueness is just so hard to get adjusted to.
Nifty pass. Emsing has got another one. He scores.
Behind the back feed to a twister finish.
Not bad. The shovel goal. Emsing got his second. That was pretty. One of the first, one of the second for Will Emsing. And they continue to pour it on.
Just as we were talking about the creativity that they play with and what makes them so unique. You get a behind the back feed inside to a twister finish, and he makes it look easy. Both of them do.
Everybody getting in on the act. Coach D'Onofrio told us this week there was a special graduation for seniors with spring sports at Tufts, and that included Joey Kraft, who was the grandson, as we talked about, of Robert. Robert was there at the ceremony.
Oh, cool.
And he said, hey, we're so excited you're going to come to our house and win a championship. And Casey told us that's a lot of pressure from the Patriots owner, but he's excited to get a chance to
This guy knows
Robert
a few
Kraft.
things about winning.
Yeah, just a little bit. That pass is errant. And turned over here in the final moments of the first half. What a showing in the house of the Patriots tonight.
Oh, man.
It's been tough. Just been tough. Jack Deedy can bring that in.
When it rains, it pours, right?
Yeah,
and so far, it has poured.
Hauser, re-trigger. Passing in front. Another goal! Eddinghausen has yet another tally for Tufts. They pour it on all the way through our first half. The senior attackman adds to the total to make it 14-3.
And this is another one of those just heartbreakers off of a failed clear, but this one I think hurts even more because you have so many guys that are getting in the hole. You could have defended this just much better, right? I think the on ball, you open your hips up, you give in the middle of the field. Right? There's just a lot that leaves to be desired there.
Well, Tufts might not be undefeated if it weren't for his game-winning overtime goal against Christopher Newport. They were down that game 8-0. He scored the game winner. Part of this perfect season for Tufts. And nearly perfect tonight in the first half. Hyatt's got a couple. Passes off for Huggins. Final seconds of our first half tonight from Gillette. Pass in front. Comes all the way through. Push call. 1 second on the board. There will be a quick re-trigger here for Dickinson. And maybe one more chance to throw it in front of the cage and hope for a bounce deflection, something good, and there's the horn. And there's the opening 30. Dan, I can't imagine a more dominant performance by a team in the first half of a championship game.
Yeah, no, that was everything that the Jumbos were hoping to do with the first 30 minutes and just about nothing that the Red Devils were hoping to do with their portion of that 30 minutes.
We're at halftime from Gillette Stadium in Foxborough. It is 14-3. Top-seeded Tufts looking for another national championship. Welcome back to Gillette. Dave, Dan, our entire crew, NCAA.com, getting set for half number 2, Division III National Championship game. Tufts trying to run the table and win another title. Looking to go 23-0 on the year and have a convincing 14-3 lead. Dan, on the Red Devils, did we check the numbers through 30 minutes? What do you see here?
Yeah, I mean, just a huge discrepancy in a few different areas. Shots, right, obviously sticks out. But one of the ones that is equally important, ground balls, is very heavily in Tufts' favor, and I think that that's one of the ones that is going to dictate tempo in a major, major way. And so Dickinson has to do the work there to narrow that gap here.
Offensively, Hauser brilliant, 4-3 for 7 on 7 shots. Eddinghausen 2-2 for 4 on 5 shots. Even Walbaum got on the act with a long stick goal. Emsing 2-2 for 4. Tagliaferri, multi-point first half, same for Red. He was 1-1 for 2 and buried his only shot. If you look at Tufts' run in this NCAA tournament, Rhodes College, St. Lawrence, Gettysburg, Bowdoin, and now Dickinson, they've outscored their opponents 86-37 in the NCAA tournament, just blowing the doors off basically everybody they face. It has been an incredibly dominant run for Tufts, and Dan, they just want to cap it off here with a solid 30 minutes for a title.
Absolutely. And Dickinson's going to do everything they can to try and shift the gears here and try and do some work early in this half and chip back at it.
You were a coach. What would you say to your team at this point?
I think the biggest thing for Dickinson is, pride, first of all, right? You have to have the urgency and the heart and the passion that it takes to make all of the hardest plays, right? And then after that, it's dictating and doing a much better job of all those pregame keys.
Parker Merrill trying to win the draw, does just that. Right into the cross of Ben Frazzoli. He's across the midfield line. Frazzoli thought about a crank with a 6-foot pole. Ball is loose. Eddinghausen oversteps by a stride. It comes away to Dickinson. They'll get in the offensive end. Wouldn't that be nice to have a good start with Boyd? Into the box here for the Red Devils to begin half number 2.
And a really nice ground ball there from Cap Reynolds. A really, really slick play there in traffic, and a nice job of securely getting it to an attackman. Preston Boyd starting the half there at an attack for Dickinson, just like he did to end it.
A longtime head coach Dave Webster, class of '88, as a Red Devil player himself, talked about the pride of getting his program, his alma mater, to the national championship for the first time. Hoping his team wouldn't be overwhelmed under the bright lights at Gillette. Guest handles top of the box. It has been tough tonight against dominant Tufts.
And this Tufts defense does a really good job of these adjacent hedges, really eating space, making Dodgers' jobs hard.
Charlie Bond dodging. Right of the cage. Garzone watches that closely. Guest swim move through traffic. On his knees. Hit from behind. Little yard sale. Equipment goes flying. And finally, on a good play with a ride, Huggins able to follow up. And Ramsey Huggins has it in the back 15. Winning back possession here for the Red Devils. Little mini win, Dan, right?
Absolutely. Every one of those is important. Every single one of them. And you guys maybe couldn't tell on your screen there at home, but a defender for Tufts was up at midfield. Oh, looking to do this, exactly what's happening here.
O'Neal had the pick. And away he goes. Things are unsettled. On a trail. Del Cristo cranks. Scores! Cam Del Cristo trails on the fast break and buries it.
And what you'll see here from Tufts is they do such a good job of once they throw it down the side, everybody else starts cutting really hard. And now you have this trailer and Cam Del Cristo who does an awesome job of just slow playing it, letting those guys cut and take those defenders out of the way. And now he has a huge lane to fill.
7th of the year in his 22nd game of the season. First team All-American, one of 6 on the Tufts team with USI LA honors postseason. Remarkable year.
We also had him as a preseason All-American, a guy that came in with a ton of accolades, a ton of credibility, and it's for all of those plays that you just saw. Earlier in the game, you saw him on an assist, dodging in transition, and then throws it once he draws that adjacent slide to Hauser. And this is just very much so. He is one of those guys that lets Tufts play this tempo and that pace.
Garzone for Sam Frazzoli. And right back in the offensive end. Rigneri's been pretty quiet tonight. Kelly is not.
Kelly, the most physical Dodger in D3.
I like that. Good take. You know D3 well as anybody.
As well, and he does such a good job of just creating separation, and I would say he's as two-handed as anybody as well.
Okay. 2 good takes. Emsing and Hauser. We're going to have time to talk about your big picture stuff, I think, in the way this game is going.
Absolutely.
Kelly, top of the box, draws that slide. The double team comes. Clock melts at 30 seconds now to shoot. Hauser chased way away from the cage for Rigneri.
They'll have to support here. Look for him to pull up, be a feeder.
Now to the back 15. Rigneri changes hands. Shovel shot. Snicked aside last second. Good job there holding his own with Bognet. Held the line nicely head-to-head with one of the best offensive players in the country.
He almost ran himself into some trouble there, but did a nice job of realizing it and escaping. A little bit of composure there and goes a long way.
Singular clear to Boyd. They'll get it across the midfield line. They'll try to set here in the half field for Mulhern.
And again, just a good job of running. You really just have to dodge to pass a lot of times against this Tufts pressure, right? It's not always dodging to create offense or dodging to initiate. It's dodging just to get through some pressure, dodging just to be able to get to the next guy.
Baldini got 12 goals in the year. Operates offensive end. Boyd and company trying to create something. Their first goal of the second half.
I like when Dickinson goes to that look there, those picks at GLE. I think that's one of the things that they can do to kind of create some leverage when they can't do it on their own.
Boyd passing, goes up top, and the shot blasted off target there by Cullen Mulhern. And Tufts as close as to it along the end line. They'll get it right back for a clear.
When it comes to stacking together some progress on that side of the ball, it's possessions like that, though. So some positive to be had there.
I like that, Coach. All right, good. Stockdale passing. Good opportunity. Denied this time. A blast there for Keogh. Junior midfielder had a good righty look on cage. Couldn't bury it this time. Tufts hangs on, 50 to shoot.
Dodging 5 on 6 here, just knowing that it's such a...
Pipe Regneri. The blast got the iron. Sam Frazzoli, the long rebound. Between the top of the box and the midfield line, Regneri's got it back. Dodging again in the right alley.
Here's a matchup again they're going to need to support.
1 for 7 shooting for the All-Americans so far. Sharp angle, does it again. That was special. Jack Regneri just needs a little daylight to get that righty rip off, and he's got a second of the night.
I'm not sure what Dickinson's waiting for here. This is a matchup you probably knew you needed to support as soon as he started to square up. You could have just flushed it. You know, again, this is one of the things that we talked about pregame where you have so many different options, so many different tools for Tufts that you're worried about a million different things, and sometimes the basic slips. See,
I think a pair tonight.
And he's drawing eyes there. You're so much better off just going, especially knowing his skill set and how much of a lethal shooter he is. You're in much better shape if you just go and flush the ball out of his stick there, in my opinion.
Tufts 14 of 21 draws, but Truckas does have the loose GB. The pass, though, in the offensive end is airmailed and turned right over the head of Preston Boyd. Adding to the turnover total, make it 12 in the game tonight for the Red Devils.
And really 12 feels like it could be a lot worse than that.
Been a tough night for Dickinson on the field. But the big picture, getting this far, remarkable run, thrilling NCAA tournament games to make history. Tagliaferri wants more history for Tufts.
Certainly. He's going to send Frazzoli for a sub. Frazzoli's still hunting.
Return pass back 15, Charlie Tagliaferri. All-time great midfielders in Tufts history. Operates far side GLE, now spins in front, trying for that quick stick goal, picked off.
And that was a feed inside to Callum Wood, who I believe is on the field for his first action of the night.
Will McDonald has the intercept, freshman defenseman there for Dickinson from Summit, New Jersey. So a lot of positives in this game. Hayden Warren will lob upfield. Right back for McDonald. Good pass in stride. And Boyd now will set up at near side GLE.
Some numbers if they want him, but this is the balance you need to find, right? You need a good possession. You need to make sure that your defense gets a quick breather. But at the same time, you're not going to win being passive, and you need to score some goals so you're down 13.
And that's a lot of goals to come back from. Blast off target this time. Right-handed shot from Whalen. He set such a huge NCAA tournament run for the Red Devils. Not one, but 2 game winners. Helped them get this far. Unexpected by so many in the college lacrosse world, my partner tonight included. I'm sure that Dickinson will get this far, all the way to the title tilt. Remarkable. Bond has got it. 20 to shoot here outside the box. I mean, did you pick them anywhere near the championship game?
No.
I'm just guessing.
My bracket had them out at Salisbury.
They just kept on going, didn't they?
Certainly.
That shot, Garzone saw it nicely.
And just for some
play on Huggins.
And just for some context there for any fans listening to this that maybe aren't super familiar with Division III, that Salisbury game, that was the first time that Salisbury had not advanced past the Elite Eight since 1989.
How about that?
I think very few had Dickinson being the first to do it.
All that winning. Ben Clark helps get it across the midfield line and the clear into the box. So 16-3 here, 7+ to go in the third. Could have some scoring records.
And here comes Kelly out of the box. Look for him to get downhill and put his shoulder into somebody.
Kelly might get them a little bit closer. Emsing passing in traffic over the shoulder. Pass instead goes in front. Now the shot is a crease call. Before that shot will count anyway. We are using replay in the NCAA championships. Haven't needed it in the 2 games that I've seen so far.
That would have been spectacular. Had that dive connected and the ball found the back of the net there, that would have been one of the goals of the year. Dickinson offsides there.
Okay, some more trouble. And right back.
Tough spot to give him a restart.
Tufts cranking just off target.
Great hustle there from Rocco and net. Almost wins that by the hair of his chin on that dive.
Timmons' big hammer missed the target. But Emsing and company will set up again in the half field. Enjoying a big lead of 13 goals. Tagliaferri top of the box dodging. Wrap up another brilliant season for Emsing. Lefty shot goes high, and the stop made. Lognet's got another save.
He's hanging in
8
there.
in the game here tonight, Dan.
He's hanging in there.
He is.
And good rep down there for him.
Cap Reynolds, one of the top defensive players in the nation.
And here comes one of these Tufts doubles while you're subbing.
Yeah, that's not easy.
Maybe a little too aggressive in that instance.
Throws you off, doesn't it? Garzon sees that go wide, off target again.
And again, it's similar to like in basketball where you talk about teams that press. A lot of the times that they're pressing is not necessarily because they think they were going to turn you over, but they know that the advantage of speeding you up exists as well. And so in that instance, it doesn't end up in Tufts ball. It gives them a shot, but it certainly speeded them up, right?
Sure.
Or sped them up, excuse me.
Understood. I got you.
Single invert again. I think this is where I'd live if I was Dickinson as much as possible.
Charlie Bond passing, but the dish is errant near the midfield line. Not crossing officially in touch for the over and back, but it's right back to Tufts. Same result.
And they
got it here in control one more time.
They have 2 poles and a short stick D-mid over, so Dickinson has their work cut out for them to do all the work to sub up.
Nifty over-the-shoulder pass. Rigneri couldn't find the target, though. His shot's off cage. Just over 5 to go in the third quarter. All Tufts tonight, led by 8 at the end of the first and 14-3 at halftime, trying to add to the total here.
And they cut so hard out of the box. Guys get a half step out of the box, and the next thing you know, they turn it into 2 steps because they're just sprinting out of it.
Hauser passing Keel. Feeds for Red. A really good first half, 1-1 for 2. Dodging near side GLE. Return pass back 15 for Red. Crank up top, shot and a score, it's another one. The big star, Jack Rigneri, limping a bit after he tallies again, adding to his total. He's got a hat trick, 3 of 11 shooting. Might need some medical attention.
Yeah, that was
about
either
the only negative tonight for Tufts.
And he actually had a lower earlier in the year, too, so this is something that if you are a Tufts faithful, you probably think that this season and this year is safely in hands, but not something you necessarily want to see. And actually, they're just jumping right into stretching him, which should be a little bit of relief. It's likely just a cramp.
Generally a cramp. Never want to speculate, Dan.
Absolutely. And we'll touch on that set real quick while we have a moment, but just some beautiful offense as we've continued to see. We've seen a lot of good stuff in transition here. Really nice 6-on-6 set. And good look here as we get to see exactly working on that leg. And like we said, usually when they jump right into stretching, it typically is a result of a cramp.
Hauser partner 4-4 for 8 on 7 shots. Even awesome. Rigneri's got the hat as well. Eddinghausen 2-2 for 4 on 6 shots. So many jumbos getting in on the act as they try to win another national championship and extend their win streak. It's going to go well over 400 days into next year. Rigneri being treated.
And if you stretch that success outside of those 3 losses last year into the 2023 season, it just continues and continues. 393
days entering play tonight. So, assuming they hang on, which I think they will, safe to say, Rigneri still gets that treatment here. You're going all the way into, January, right, of 26, February. First game.
Yep.
That's going to be, we've got to add that up on our phones. Ask Siri.
Yeah, really.
A lot of days without a loss for Tufts. And good news, Rigneri, their superstar, headed off.
He looks all right, getting some thumbs up. Getting a Reggie chant as he heads off, player of the year. Talented player, really one of the best in Division III, best dodgers, best shooters. Really talented player.
Shoots at 100+ miles an hour. Casey D'Onofrio told us this week. Junior from Palm Beach Gardens, Florida. Going up to the Boston area. A star for the Jumbos looking for another title. They're well on their way. Truckus and company do win this face-off for Dickinson, and we'll have possession with 4.5 to go in our third quarter, down by 14 goals. All 3 second half belonging to Tufts.
And this is one we haven't seen yet. Haven't seen the hang-up. Preston Boyd doing a nice job of orchestrating some offense, getting his toes tight to the back of the crease.
I like it, Coach. Break it down for us.
Here you got Dickinson in an open set, which kind of feeds into these adjacent slides that Tufts is really good at. So,
Mulhern returned past their partner near side GLE to the back 15. Left-hand cradle, 35 to shoot for Mulhern. Guess has got it. Right alley, but can't pull the trigger. Really good defense. Stockdale, the senior shorty, is all over him.
This is one of the things that we were talking about pregame for this. One of the keys for Tufts was just being great with their short stick D-mids on the ball.
Thurston Boyd shot. Just enough at Garzone. Maybe hope from the iron. It's out of the net, bottom line.
3 pulls over for Tufts in transition.
Wow. All doing it well. Ayers' 6-foot pole marching across the midfield line. And hands for Eddinghausen. They're right back in the half field with a full 63 to shoot. Hauser, the sprint, trying to get that right hand free. Look at the effort, still displaying that with a 14-goal lead. Impressive.
And they do such a good job of giving those Dodgers space, right? Like we mentioned, those 3 pulls that went over, 1 inside, 1 hanging out on the outside, 1 subbing. And so if you're glued up in all those spots, there's a lot of green space out there.
Calwood almost lost it. Eddinghausen and company regain. Emsing, 51 points on the season, entering play tonight for Kelly. Skipping, cross field, shot. Tagliaferri scores! An absolute blast.
And really what I love here, and we'll get a good replay as well, but what I love about this is actually the feed. The ball is in and out of Emsing's stick on this skip. As soon as he catches it, he knows exactly where he's going, and then delivers a strike right to Tagliaferri's ear. So from the goalie's perspective, he's set here, has to get pipe to pipe, reset, and then save a blast like that. That's tough stuff.
What a shot. He's 2-1 for 3 on 5 shots tonight. And the lead expands again to make it 18-3.
Tagliaferri from San Ramon Valley in California. This roster has talent from all over the map.
Violation face-off right back to Tufts again. With this lead, Del Cristo had it off the wing. Plays to Keogh. 20-11 for 31 for him in 20 games entering play tonight.
A little bit of a homecoming for him, the Massachusetts native.
It's got to be a thrill, right? Family and friends are here, you know that. Here's Red, back 15. Gets the pick. Sprint to near side GLE. Red shoots. It's another.
It is just an absolute blitz. Every single time they come down on this side of the ball, it's like dodge after dodge after dodge, slide after slide, and the ball gets moving. Everybody's winning matchups. Everybody's finding the back of the net. It's tough. It becomes one of those things that it's like, you know, your head spirals as a defense where you really have so many things to address. You don't know what to prioritize and what to really, like, harp on.
Red is 2-2 for 4.
Looks like we have a conduct foul on Tufts. They're going to give the ball to the Red Devils here.
.205 to go in the third.
Non-time serving, just giving them possession.
Clinic here tonight offensively. Wow. Here's Bond. Left alley for Boyd.
And here's where you need to generate a step here if you're Luke Whalen. Get into your alley, get into your strong hand. In his defense, he did. Draws a slide, but that tempo, the pace that they play with on this side of the ball, up for the task.
Bond, sharp angle, trying to beat Garzone, who was able to hug the pipe nicely. Stood tall in the crease, then shuts down.
They
Bond.
have a ton of space here on this outlet.
To the offensive end again. O'Neal. To the box. Eddinghausen and company.
And O'Neal
Right,
just kind of
on the field.
sneaks behind everybody there and has space.
Kelly. Spinorama move. Try to get free with a bull dodge. Passing instead. Tagliaferri with a cut was almost open for an easy slam.
I was trying to think of a Chris Hogan joke, but nothing came to mind.
We got time. Keep thinking about it. Takeaway. Good news there for Dickinson on defense. Red Devils across the midfield line. Nice play by Monroe. Hyatt, couple in the first half, passing for Guess, who scores. Ethan Guess charging in, found the rock, found the back of the net with a hammer.
And again, doing a really nice job there coming out of the box and playing midfield, which he's done a ton in his career, so it isn't a huge transition, but comes out of it, attacking downhill, and has to be aggressive here, right? Has to be aggressive, and does a really nice job of making sure it ends up in the back of the net.
.33 seconds to go in the quarter. Face-off, Merrill wins it again. Face-off numbers are now 69 for Tufts in the game here tonight.
And that was Ryan Backus on the draw there for Dickinson, Fairfield Prep High School.
Hauser operates. Mazzoli thought about pulling the trigger. Final moments of the third. Charge in front. It's another one. Adding to the total for Tufts one more time. Bocchio. Speed dodge from the back 15. Found the edge, found the back of the net. And Tufts has had an incredible offensive game. 20 on the board for the Jumbos tonight.
And this is one where, as this dodge happening right here, I think just go. Ackerman's right there. I think you have two guys. Farron's not too far off, right? Both of those guys can just slide to that as soon as the Dodger commits to getting underneath. And maybe you don't have him just, getting to the cooker like that.
But it happened.
Even if you had, at that point, if they do connect on one more feed inside or an extra pass, it's like at least you made them make one more feed there, which they probably could. They're skilled, they're a talented group on that side, but I think giving them that inside and not sliding at all and not supporting those short sticks as much as they have been has been, killing them.
What a fantastic 45 minutes for the defending national champs here in Division III. 3 quarters complete from Gillette Stadium. Tufts 20. Three quarters complete, 1 to go here from Gillette Stadium. The last 2 games, Dan, for Tufts, they've outscored their opponents in the NCAA tournament 46-15. After blasting Bowdoin with 26 goals in the semifinals and 20 on the board tonight against Dickinson here in the championship game. Given back to Tufts, Frizzoli triggers for Hauser, and they're right back on offense.
Quick statistical note here for Tufts. You have them entering the fourth quarter at 18 of 18, a perfect and 100% in the clear so far tonight.
How about that? One of many numbers going the Jumbo's way tonight. Brilliant performance. Regneri has returned, no problem there after some cramp issues in the third quarter.
And I think
Hauser calls for it, top left-hand corner of the box, Dan.
I just think it's such a testament to the stick skills down there and the composure of that group.
Kelly spins and scores. Garrett Kelly adds to the total.
Again, one of D3's, if not D3's, most physical Dodger. Every single time he touches it, the next thing that happens is a shoulder hits his defender's chest. Does a really good job initiating contact, and then he's so two-handed that he can kind of roll off of it depending on where the defender takes him or how they handle that leverage. And in this instance, he's able to just keep turning the corner.
Got your record book out? It might be about time for that record book, because you're rattling off some good numbers at halftime, Dan.
Yeah, I think we're entering that,
do that? Go ahead.
Nearly uncharted territory.
Feel free.
So, of the undefeated teams, we've had a handful. Salisbury's done it 7 times. Nazareth has done it. RIT has done it. A great save there from Rocco and net. But you add to that, of the teams that have gone back-to-back, you have Salisbury's done it, Tufts has done it, Hobart's done it, RIT's done it, Nazareth has done it, and Middlebury's done it. But when you combine those two things and you go for that undefeated and back-to-back, there's only been one that's done it, and it's Salisbury. So Tufts looks to join them in that.
How about that? Some more history for you to write about.
Add it to the books. Add it to the books.
Huggins and company have an offensive end here for the Red Devils, trying to play out this championship game, and a couple of goals on the board would help for Whalen. Instead, the slide comes. He gets double-teamed and sandwiched. Split dodge move, top of the box here. Nice stop and go, but can't get the hands free for a shot. Good movement here. A shot. Our zone. Watch that. Go by. Gathered, scored. And a really good effort for Dickinson. And Whalen would not give up. Found the ball to the left of Garzone, kept on trucking, and buries it for a goal.
You know what's interesting is, that possession I feel like was a lot of what we've seen the last couple weeks. You know, the ball clicking around, winning some matchups.
Clean.
Maybe it has a bit to do with just what do you have left to lose, right? And so now that element changed when you entered a national championship game and you have plenty to lose. But at this point, you certainly don't. So let it all hang out, start playing with some freedom, let the pressure out, and you had, exactly that. Ball doing its work, working around the perimeter, a good shot up the hash, and just good offense all in general.
Dave Webster told us Whalen, top midi, battering, a lot of injury troubles this year.
He took on a nickname of Luke Malin after those overtime victories.
Malin in, you mean? That's good. Like it. Regneri handles between the top of the box and the midfield line, fakes that pass for Red, and hangs on to it here, waiting for subs and some reinforcements. A nice goal for Whalen here in the fourth. Regneri spins. Red thought about gathering and cranking, but he couldn't find the ball on his cross. From a sharp angle, wow, Hauser got the pipe.
One of the other things about this Tufts offense I think that's unique about them is, when it comes to most teams, they have their sets, they have their spots that they like to initiate from, they have their initiators that they like to initiate with. But with this Tufts offense, it's anybody from anywhere, with or without a pick. And so now defensively, you're always just kind of worried about tendencies and what players do, not necessarily a scheme that you can try and use to take to your advantage. And, when you can scout something out and you can tell your defense what's coming, it becomes a lot easier to defend.
Regneri for Red, who's got it back in his cross, had a right-hand crank that just missed the target a moment ago. Good takeaway by Monroe with a 6-foot pole for Dickinson. Watch out for the trail check, though. Taken right back. Red finds it. It was the hustle from Hauser. Sprints upfield on a trail check, perfectly timed. Initially took it away. It is grabbed again by Dickinson, the GB for Hayden Warren.
Hyatt running himself into some trouble.
That's been a problem all game, hasn't it, Dan?
It has. Tough play at the midfield play there.
Dickinson offensive end, skip pass, gather. Garzone can't stop Huggins this time.
Just surviving there, surviving around
Huggins
the midfield line.
And scores. Had one in the second quarter. That made it 10-2. Has one here in the fourth. And a nice little flurry for the Red Devils here in the fourth quarter.
A nice flurry, and it's crazy to say, but there's a little bit of energy and a little bit of enthusiasm over there. And like you said, just kind of surviving and living around the midfield line, making some borderline hard plays, and then it all pays off for them as it ends up in the back of the net. A nice skip, dodge the approach, get to the middle. They're playing with a little bit more energy.
Faceoffs are 19-9 for Tufts in this game. Salcedo, the junior, he was 9 of 16, had 4 ground balls, a goal against Bode in the semifinals.
And I think that right there, what you just saw, is a great encapsulation of his game. I think between the two of them, Parker Merrill, really good on the clamp, really technical on the draw, and then Salcedo, athletic. He's going to rake you a little bit, try and win ground balls, and just be quick on that. And right there, you had a ground ball that he just is shot out of a cannon to go win.
Junior Fredericksburg, Maryland. His coach told us this week on the GPS he runs 22 miles an hour, fastest on the team. That for a Fogo is a major advantage.
Absolutely, using that exactly to the plan right there.
Regneri return pass, left of the cage, can't find a clean handle. Double team, but does have the rock back in the back 15. Eddinghausen's had a great game, so is Kelly. Bull dodge. Dan talked about it. What a powerful Dodger. Stays on the ball.
Still somehow has
Still
it.
has got it. Then cranks and scores. Emblematic of the night Tufts has had. Double team. Defenders everywhere. Hangs onto the rock. Creates space and hammers it home.
Ends up with a step down from dead center, hands free with his strong hand. The big fella's out of Georgia, the Lovett School, and again just barrels into defenders. This time he barrels into 2 defenders, peels back, gets to his right hand. That space was vacated, and he knows exactly what to do with it.
3 for Kelly, 3 for Rigneri, 4 for Hauser. 3 hat tricks tonight.
And then Merrill clean on that first one, just right out the back door, and he's out.
Right back to Hauser.
He's going to set a little pick here, a little sub-game action, or fake it and leave.
Ties up the defender either way.
Absolutely.
Hauser for Frizzoli. Tufts right back on offense. 22-6 lead with 9.5 to go. Remarkable effort tonight for the Jumbos. Peter Kramer gets a shift. Free for a moment, doesn't pull the trigger.
Another one of these talented guys from California on this Tufts roster.
Kraft had one in the first half.
Byer from Utah.
Dudes from outside the traditional areas.
And I saw Byer on the club circuit. Really, really talented player there. Did a lot to kind of generate some noise as a recruit as well.
Hauser lost it this time. One of the few mistakes that Tufts has made in the offensive end. The ride has been so effective. Joey Kraft trying to trail check and find it right back for the Jumbos, but Dickinson able to get it across the midfield stripe and get things set up in the half field. A lot to be proud of, right? Red Devils this year. What a run.
Certainly. Certainly. Again, if you think back to perhaps I'm bad luck. The last time I saw this team play in person, it was at the Callum Robinson Mustang Classic. They played RIT. They got the doors bag. You don't think so? Okay, good. And they got absolutely walloped and then turned that around into a win here last week. And, like we said, just a lot to be proud of on this season in terms of the turnaround and the resilience that they showed as a group.
Well, the coach, Dave Webster, told us on the bus ride home after the 2 wins at Tiger Stadium, RPI and RIT finally hit him. We're going to the national championship game. He played there. He's coached there for so many years. He said there were 1,500 texts on his phone. 1,500. He said, look, I'm not going to get to them all this week. I have to wait till after the championship game and then take some time to return those well-wishers. Tagliaferri, nice spin cycle move, top of the box.
And I certainly believe it. I don't think that number is an exaggeration by one bit. He's been in that spot for 24 years at the helm and is, again, one of D3's most respected coaches, a guy that every one of those alums, right, you've been there for 24, and every one of your alums leaves there with a ton of respect and admiration. So then when you reach a point like this, they're eager to come out and support or eager to show support with, reaching out.
Hauser and Emsing cannot click on that pass. It is turned over. And the Red Devils have another chance here with 7:20 and counting in their season remaining. Huggins, good lunge in the back 15 to catch that pass. Off for Hyatt. Hyatt had a couple goals in the second quarter, including the first of this championship tilt to make it 10-1. It has been all Tufts from the very first face-off to now. Dominant tonight. Up 8-zip after the first quarter, 14-3.
Oh, wow.
After the second. Some life here, Dickinson. It's Matt Thurston, the senior, with a nice tally in the late going. He's on the board. The attackman's got it.
And
First 12th of the year.
And of the guys that Dickinson plays, he's one of the ones that has the most kind of flair for the spectacular. And so here you'll see a really good look at it. Look at the full extension on that dive in the backhand. But again, he's one of the ones that you can turn to kind of make one of those types of spectacular plays and kind of pull a rabbit out of the hat, so to speak.
Looked like mom there with a shot, the 99 jersey. Pretty cool. Proud moment. Multi-year starter for Thurston, but some injuries have really derailed his senior year. And the coaching staff at Dickinson and Dave Webster hoping that he could contribute in this championship game. Not 100%. But that was a pretty sweet goal.
That's a lifetime.
Nice dive.
That's a lifetime
Nice
highlight
shot.
right there. Yeah,
Sure
that
was.
I don't know if you can put it on his resume in any type of paper form, but that's something that it should probably come up in every sort of job interview that he ever has for the rest of his life.
Probably so. Timeout Dickinson here. 6:37 to go in the fourth. Possession and a 22-7 lead. We'll take a timeout and be right back on NCAA.com. Back here at Gillette. Dave Dan, our entire crew, 22-7 the score in the fourth quarter. That was quite a goal from Thurston, the senior second midfielder, creating some late noise here for Dickinson. Whalen re-triggers off the timeout, watched by Frizzoli. With 6.5 standing between Tufts and another national championship. Well, in the battle, Frizzoli is better. Knocked aside with a 6-foot pole. Now the pursuit near the sideline, it's out of bounds.
And they go to the timeout there and come up with a little bit of a two-man action. Let Whalen take the pole back there. He refuses the pick. And, gonna stay Dickinson ball here. Didn't realize, sorry.
Huggins on the re-trigger. Passes in front, quick stick try, sent off target. Good opportunity from Bond. Flags fly. Haven't seen this tonight in the D3 championship game. 2 flags on the field.
Just going to say, I think this will be our first look at a Dickinson EMO here of the night. And for fans looking for something to watch for, I think typically what we see is it's a rolling off on the crease, rotating down on the pipes. Guys looking to feed it inside or skip it through on those rotations and throwbacks.
First EMO for either side. Extra man was 2-6 against RIT in the semifinals. So 6-on-5 here. Brooks Burns picks up the penalty.
I think next time it goes through X, we'll see a carry and a roll-off. A carry, rolling off on the crease, throwback, and now he's going to look to be a feeder.
Whalen in front, searching for that pass and the quick stick attempt here for Dickinson. Hyatt's out there.
Again.
Same for Murphy. We see him on the EMO for Dickinson. He's up top about 10 yards in front of the cage. Handles here. Hyatt already a couple tonight. 15 to shoot. Pass in front. Garzone says no.
And that is kind of the look that they're looking to orchestrate there with those carries.
Gazzoli has it. Shoots it. Scores it.
So savvy and so clever in that. That's a bit of a set play off of that man down clear where the attackman's coming up all the way, dragging his defender with him, and now for Soli, who knows that that's coming, comes sprinting and hunting all of that space, and they are able to get a ton of space out of that. So really, really savvy, clever sub pattern there for Tufts. Just gets them an easy bucket.
Adding to the total.
And they'll still be man down here.
Long stick defenseman of the year. Up to 17 points on the season, 11 goals. He's been brilliant. Great transition, the breakout speed.
And we officially have a ton of subs made there from the Jumbos.
Not surprising right at this point of the game.
No, and especially in the national championship, right? I think this is an awesome opportunity for some guys who've done a ton of work all season to get some opportunity. And what better shine can you have under the lights at Gillette?
Joey Kraft. Passes this time to X. Handled there for Callum Wood. 11-4 for 15 on the season entering play here tonight. Byer passing. Easy shot and score for Wood. He gathers and hammers on the quick stick goal. It's another for Tufts. They continue to pour it on as they have from the opening face-off to now en route to a national championship.
Callum, a Connecticut public school cat, does a nice job there attacking the approach, gets underneath, and then let's look where this ball hits the back of the net. Right inside on that near side. So a really nice job of kind of finding space, knows that
the defenders are giving him a little bit to that underneath by way of how they approached so high, and he does a nice job of just getting underneath and sticking it.
An all-time Division III single-game championship goal record, 24. 95 Salisbury under Jim Berkman had 22 in a game. 22 as well for Nazareth, and 92 for Scott Nelson in a win over Roanoke. 24 on the board. The record-setting season continues here for the Jumbos tonight. Impressive on a lot of levels, Dan.
It certainly is.
I mean, they have just been awesome. Hauser's had a huge game, 4-4 for 8, one of the many offensive stars for Tufts tonight. Another takeaway as they try to put this game away. Ben Friedman's in goal now. The senior from Newton, Mass. has replaced Garzone, who's going to end his career as a two-time national champion between the pipes for Tufts. What a career he had.
Friedman, also a Massachusetts native, so
sure.
Nice to get a little bit of a homecoming there.
Yes, from Newton, right in the Boston area, not too far from where we're here in Foxborough, south of Beantown.
And I'll give you my first Ben Friedman exposure was actually in the World Games playing for Team Israel. So
right on.
A great player and doing some work in the international game as well.
18 games this year. Garzone's been out of a lot because they've been ahead by so many. And a couple close calls, part of the 22-0 run to the national championship game. This was not a close call at all. Dominant in so many levels. And Friedman tests there, sees that go over the goal stick. 30 career appearances for Friedman. Senior from the Middlesex School here in the Boston area.
And Carter Wilmot with a nice job there for Dickinson, getting topside, taking a nice shot. Carter was another one that I saw in the club circuit playing for the New Jersey Riot. It's out of Don Bosco High School. Here he is.
Shot didn't get to Freeman, blocked away. Hayden Warren, that was off his foot, it looked like. Limping a bit after that shot, but he blocked it, didn't get to the cage, and Warren stays on it and finds the ground ball. Nicely done there for Tufts. 50-50 ball at the midfield stripe. Goose ahead. Dickinson, some numbers. Dickinson scores. Yes. With a lefty hammer. Puts another one on the board for the Red Devils, and the late going. Make our high scoring affair 24-8.
You mentioned he sticks this one with his left hand, and it's actually one of the most interesting things about his development as a player over the course of his career was how two-handed he had become. He entered as a left-handed midfielder, and last week against RIT, he's sticking goals with his right hand from the point. So just an impressive evolution to his game.
Timeout call with 2:01 to go in the fourth quarter. So your big takeaways for the Tufts season. You follow D3 so closely. What has made this team so good beyond what we've seen tonight?
Totally. Outside of just like their pace and all of those types of things, I think one of the things that sticks out to me is I had the opportunity to talk to Coach D'Onofrio for the IL D3 podcast, and one of the things he said, this isn't an epic line, but he basically was like, if you come to a Tufts practice and you watch us, we do very little yelling. The only thing that I get on guys for will be like effort, attitude, and if they aren't going 100%. And he said, this is the quote line, like we can put this on a graphic, 80% of a Tufts practice is one big heat check. They're trying to figure out what works and what will be effective and what they can do as fast as they can do it. And then when they find the line of where it doesn't work, that's where they cut back, right? And so to figure that out, though, they have to push those boundaries and have to push those boundaries constantly to know what they can do, what they're able to do in terms of like what they can lean on their teammates. And so I think that's just kind of the tone that I would say sets things, is a practice where 80% of what's going on is a heat check and you're allowed to push those boundaries. Sounds pretty fun.
Going to push forward, aren't you? Going to make a lot of progress, that's for sure. Face-offs before that draw, 22 of 33 won by the Jumbos tonight. The coach told us this week in our chat with him pregame, winning last year was a validation of their style, of their practice approach, just like you talked about, of their recruiting. And he said to us he's brought a lot of Division I recruits in to take a look. Said, hey, come look at our practice.
Totally.
See if you might fit in here. and some kids who might, as you follow as close as anybody, who might have gone to a higher level school, a Division I, a Division II, where there could be other chances to play, have said, I like what Tufts has to offer.
Bingo, you nailed it. I think that they're one of the schools that, provides recruits an opportunity where they have, a mid or a low-level Division I opportunity, and then you could say, hey, come compete for a national championship and do it at a style that is really fun to play.
Crap passing. It's another one in the net. Adding to the total, Frizzoli.
And I think that one was strictly for Thanksgiving bragging rights. His brother already in the box score, already scored a goal and did it with a long pole. So now he had to at least match with a short stick. And, it very much so. Again, we talked a lot about, what Cam Del Cristo brings to the table earlier in terms of playing good defense, picking up ground balls, pushing the tempo, being great in transition. And I think you can Control-C, Control-V that for Sam as well.
2 Frizzolis on the board. And Ben Tompkins is in, the backup goaltender for Rocco Bogdan, who was blistered tonight. Such incredible tough shooting. 6th game of the year for Tompkins, senior, Coatesville, Pennsylvania. Get some time in the final moments here. Tufts still operating regardless of who is on the field here, Dan, at a high level. I mean, they are playing well, moving well on each end of the field. It's impressive. Crank off target. Parker Merrill trying to get involved.
Yeah,
go.
Absolutely.
Why not?
Crashed, played some defense, and then was going to try and reward himself for with the lane in transition.
Tufts can count it down now under 30 seconds left. Bidding for another national championship.
And before we go, I will quickly say, while it doesn't hit in the results for Dickinson, I think that this and just getting here is something that's incredibly important. As a D3 team and a D3 enthusiast, there's a lot of teams that are going to be able to look to them as a great example of a team that circled the wagons in a major way.
45 minutes from campus. First time ever at Gillette Stadium. Tufts does it again. Back to back. The Jumbos have done it. Tufts tremendous in 2025. They are the Division III men's lacrosse national champions again.
Tufts 25 and Dickinson 8. Congratulations to the 2025 NCAA DIII men's lacrosse champions.
A truly historic run, like we said earlier, cements themselves with that Salisbury program that has done back-to-back in undefeated fashion. Now Tufts also back-to-back and does it in undefeated fashion. Their 3rd trip here in as many years, and as you can see, doing it in a dominant way as well.
RIT last year in Philly by 4. And a blowout win of Dickinson tonight, 25-8, setting an all-time Division III championship game scoring record in the process. What a year for Tufts. And Dan, you talked about it, a lot coming back next season. They could be right back in this position next year in Charlottesville, Virginia.
Absolutely. Tufts faithful know that with Regnery coming back and leading that offense, that certainly getting back to the mountaintop again next year seems in the realm of possibility. Especially, that just is kind of the tip of the spear as it comes to those returners.
Time to dance, time to celebrate for Tufts. First time ever playing in Gillette Stadium in school history, and it's a memorable appearance here at the home of the Patriots. Incredible. And we have back-to-back national champs in D2 and D3 now.
Back-to-back national champs in D2 and D3. We had a shot today here at an undefeated sweep as the North Carolina win the women's Division I game. We had Tampa looking to make themselves the undefeated champion of Division II. Adelphi takes that, though, and now you have Tufts that does their part. So a 2 out of 3 sweep for the undefeated teams.
23-0, national championship number 5 in their 3rd straight appearance in the title game. Casey D'Onofrio told us last year after losing in 23, it was such a relief for his returning players to win that national title. This year's mission, he thought, from covering this team, he thought was different because they were favored for so long as being such a powerhouse.
Yeah, and I think this is one of the teams and programs that, there's not a ton in Division III that hold you to a really high standard of, it's Memorial Day or bust, but I think the Tufts alums and Tufts program kind of think of it that way. And so for this, it's a lot more than just one season of work or one season culminating. It's years of that, and I think for Tufts, it's, one of the opportunities that, like we said, by going undefeated and nailing this back-to-back, it kind of puts them in a category that very few have ever done.
Well, the coach told us pregame they wanted to go at least 500 on faceoffs. They won that easily, 50% save easily, 90% plus on clears. All those things were good, and they want to have a big advantage in shots. Get 50, they got 58. Everything went well as they win this one tonight. Dan, been a lot of fun. Thanks for joining me, man. This has been great.
Absolutely. Thanks so much for having me. Thanks to everybody who tuned in, and we really appreciate, all the shine that the NCAA does for D3 on this national championship stage. So
for Dan Kaplan of Inside Lacrosse, it's Dave Ryan saying so long from Gillette Stadium in Foxborough. Tufts wins the national championship in 2025 in Division III.
Please step forward to accept your championship trophy. Finishing the season with a record of a perfect 23-0. Please help us congratulate your 2025 NCAA Division III Men's Lacrosse National Champions, the Tufts Jumbo.